Alright, so what I've got is my mixing bowl here for the dry rub. I've already pre-measured out all of my seasonings. So I've got a 1/4 cup of truvia brown sugar. That just plops out there like that. I've got pepper, salt, onion powder, ground mustard, ground cinnamon, celery flakes, cayenne pepper, garlic powder, and ground paprika, all measured out. Alright, so I've got Kingsford natural charcoal briquettes. It says to pull from today. Oh, big.
No, you're good.
Okay. Alright guys, so my coals are turning white in the center, which means they're getting really hot. I had to ask people on Facebook because usually I cook these in an oven or a broiler or whatever, and I've never done it on a grill before, so I was like, how do I do ribs on a grill? Well, I cut them in half racks, and they said to put them on away from the pile of coals, like on the furthest ends. And let them sit for like 2 to 3 hours. So I'm gonna check them every maybe 30 minutes to an hour, and keep an eye on them so they don't dry out or anything, but I want them kind of falling off the bone. So I'm gonna do on each side like this, and I'm gonna rotate them too because these are gonna be towards the hotter coals. So I'm gonna rotate them in about 30 minutes. It's only been 30 minutes. Do you think the temperature of the coals is up higher than it should be?
Maybe. Do you want to try to cut into it a little and see?
It should only take an hour. It's already fallen off.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I would switch their place and we can open this vent on the top more.
I think it's the bottom vent I probably need to open a little bit. Make sure that's open. The juices are definitely in there. It's cooling at the bottom.
Oh yeah. Gonna be some flavor.
And this is blocked off at the bottom. I can vent it a little bit and just kind of let some of that heat out. But yeah, I'm still gonna call this a keto mukbang. It's still all keto approved foods, minus my dry rub. Okay. Disclaimer. I don't want to catch
the last time we tried to do a carb load, we still wound up being not carb load.
Yeah,
so.
we still wound up on our keto macros. So I was like, I really didn't get a carb load day. It's been a while since I've had a decent carb load, and I've stalled for a week and a half now.
Do you want to open this more, maybe?
Just to, not all the way, just to, because I opened the bottom vent.
Oh, okay.
Just kind of crack it like halfway, just to kind of let some of the heat out. On honestly, I think another half hour and they should probably be done. So I can probably start the cauliflower mac. I still haven't taken a shower. I need to take a shower real quick and then start the cauliflower mac.
Seems like somehow we had one cook more than the other. Because this one, you stick a fork in it, goes in like butter. This one gave me some resistance, so I'm going to put this back on for a little bit longer.
Try not to touch it because I know I still need to put my gloves on to actually pull it apart and eat it and not make an entire mess. Juice. Alright guys, so welcome back Earth Ham. Today we're doing a Memorial Day cookout. 99% of it is keto. My dry rub is not keto. It is technically still low carb, but it's like 20 carb per rib, half rib that I did. So don't use my dry rub, but otherwise everything else is keto, all keto recipes. So today we have half a rack of ribs, dry rubbed, and they were made on the charcoal grill that I put together and figured out how to use. We have our sex in a pan dessert. We have our egg salad, and we have our, this is still hot so I'm not going to touch it, but we have our cauliflower mac and cheese, which looks absolutely stunning.
This all smells absolutely stunning too.
Alright, so Michael, I tend to pull my meat off the ribs, so Michael wanted a video or a photo or something of me pulling my meat off my ribs for himself. So y'all enjoy too, I guess. I'll do a close-up of it. Snap. I didn't have a center plate for that.
Got it.
So I want to pull the meat off my ribs real quick.
You can just put a paper towel down and throw the...
Well, I can't touch the paper towels. Make a rib pile.
Yeah.
Fat. Fatty crystal. Ooh, so sweet. This is meat, man. This is gorgeous. It's beautiful. Beautiful meat. Hopefully that's focusing on that because y'all don't know. So today is our Memorial Day celebration, and I had a few things written down and screenshotted and stuff like that to talk about Memorial Day, because a lot of people don't really understand the difference between Memorial Day and Veterans Day. I think Michael was one of those people. Aren't you? Mm-hmm. And he served in the Army.
I was never told what Memorial Day is for. If I was, I don't remember.
So Memorial Day is to pay tribute to those that died during service. And Veterans Day is to pay tribute to everyone that has served or that is serving. Or, well, pretty much a veteran has served. But it does also pay tribute to those that are still serving or that are continuing to serve. And stuff like that, like taking on extra terms. Does that make sense? Memorial Day is in memory of those that served and died during service. not afterwards. And Veterans Day is for those that served in general. Which doesn't negate you from being able to celebrate someone that did die on Veterans Day, you know, that served and, you know, left service and was a veteran kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're still a veteran. It's a Veterans Day.
This
So.
is so delicious.
Oh, so sweet. I don't want to eat with my hand. I got a little bone there. So, I pulled it apart specifically with gloves so I wouldn't make a huge mess. So I'm taking my gloves off now because now I have a fork that I can use.
Oh my god. Yes.
Alright, we're not making food porn here, Michael.
Close enough.
Alright. So, there are traditional things done on Memorial Day, such as flying the flag. I know with Virginia, I don't know if it's in every state, but with us, we fly the flag half-staff until noon, because typical Memorial Day is like, the celebration usually is around like 3 p.m. or so. So it's half-staff, you know, because it's someone that died and associated with, you know, like the government and that kind of like ultimate sacrifice. So that's paying respect. People can clean cemeteries and decorate the graves with like flowers or flags. We've got our little decorations on our table. And people will also hold reunions and picnics or cookouts. And that's what we're doing. So Memorial Day originated after the Civil War in the 1860s and became a federal holiday in 1971. Did you know that?
I feel like that took a long time for it to become a national holiday.
I feel like that too.
But
it's good it was after the Civil War because that's when, you know, the United States was like the United States, basically. This is like 8 servings, and so I'm roughly guesstimating. I have no idea. This is beautiful. Do you want to take a picture of this so that we have a really good image I can put on the...
hit the home button, swipe up from the bottom. Okay. It looks so good.
It's so pretty. I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to put like a snap in it.
Just a mountain of meat.
That way you have it, because I don't know what you guys can see and what you guys can't see. But alright, so did you know that Memorial Day has a symbol?
I did not.
The symbol of the Memorial Day is a red poppy. So the explanation goes, and I'm gonna read it. The war-torn battlefields of Europe, common red poppy field was one of the first plants to reappear. Its seeds scattered in the wind and sat dormant on the ground, only germinating when the ground was disturbed. It was, as it was by the very first burial, I'll learn to read eventually. Only germinating when the ground was disturbed, as was by the very brutal fighting of World War I. John McCrae, a Canadian soldier and physician, witnessed the First War firsthand and was inspired to write the now famous poem In Flanders Fields in 1915. Have you ever heard the poem? Mm-hmm. He saw the poppies scattered throughout the battlefield surrounding his artillery position in Belgium. So, the poppy lady. In November 1918, days before the official end of the war, an American professor named Moina Michael wrote her own poem, We Shall Keep the Faith, which was inspired by McCrae's In Flanders Field. In her poem, she mentioned wearing the poppy red to honor the dead. And with that, the tradition of adorning one's clothing with a single red poppy in remembrance of those killed in the Great War was born. Moana herself came to be known and honored as the Poppy Lady.
It's really cool.
I couldn't find poppies. I was supposed to find any decent red stuff. So I did orange today. Because it's my favorite color. Alright. The wearing of the poppy was traditionally done on Memorial Day in the United States. But the symbolism evolved to encompass all veterans, living and deceased, so poppies can be worn on Veterans Day as well. Not long after the custom began, it was adopted by other allied nations, including Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and the United Kingdom, where it is still popular today in these countries that the poppy is worn on Remembrance Day, which is November 11th.
I want to get me some of this in.
It looks so good.
It does.
It kind of loses the creaminess when you put it in the oven. Like, it was like super cheese pull creamy when it was on the stove. And I put it in the oven and it kind of like watered down somehow. I don't know, maybe my cauliflower wasn't fully drained.
Maybe. But it still looks amazing.
It smells good.
And I'm going to see how it tastes.
Oh my god. That
Spread
beats
keeps
regular
sliding everywhere.
baked mac and cheese, hands down. That's like a loaded baked potato. I haven't had a loaded baked potato and I don't even know how freaking long. Oh my gosh.
You weren't lying.
That is incredible.
This is the best cauliflower I ever put in my mouth.
Right? Holy cow.
Guys, y'all gotta try this recipe.
Oh my gosh.
It's so good.
Okay. Today's poppies are not only a symbol of loss of life, but also recovery and new life, especially in support of servicemen who survived the war, but suffered from physical and psychological injuries long after it ended. So, this poem is called In Flanders Fields by John McCrae, May 1915.
Hold on. Okay, I thought they were gonna gun it like they always do and make a lot of noise.
Oh my god, I hate it when the radio is like, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
It's like, can you not hear it? You're sitting like a foot from it. So ghetto. In Flanders fields the poppies blow, between the crosses row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky the larks still bravely singing fly. Scarce heard amid the guns below, we are the dead, short days ago. We lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe, to you from failing hands we throw. The torch be yours to hold it high, if you break faith with us who die. We shall not sleep through poppies grow in Flanders fields. So the next poem, the next one is called We Shall Keep the Faith by Moana Michael in November 1918. It says, oh, you who sleep in Flanders fields, sleep sweet to rise anew. We caught the torch you threw, and holding high we keep the faith with all who died. We cherish too the poppy red that grows on fields where valor's led. It seems to signal to the skies that blood of heroes never dies, but lends a luster to the red of the flower that blooms above the dead in Flanders fields.
Okay, so I love how the second one was
A response to
like,
the
yeah,
first
they,
one.
they were answering the
She
first one.
basically was paying homage to the original.
And I love that. I would actually love to see more of that.
Mhm.
There's probably more of that. I just don't read poetry too much. But that's a really cool idea to somebody writes that to respond.
Mm-hmm. I love I write poetry. I've been published by the Library of Congress before. And my grandmother, my mom's mom, has 3 books published now. And she writes for like a newspaper or a magazine or something like that regularly.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Her poetry is very off the wall. It's It's really silly. I gotta find my poetry book. I don't know where it is. It's probably in a box in the shed somewhere. But knowing Mom, she's probably got hers readily out. So the next time we go visit her, instead of digging through all of our stuff, we'll have to ask her for to look at Grandma's poems. She makes fun of people in them. It's about like fishing and kitty cats and puppy dogs, and she gives them like human personalities, and it's really goofy.
I think I saw that.
She's hilarious.
It was very funny.
Okay, so also Memorial Day tends to mark the unofficial start of summer for many Americans because of the summer solstice is in June. So it's like right after this. So I screenshotted this specifically because I thought it was really pretty, and it's on the website itself. Just the way that they wrote it, I was going to read it. And if we could do like a moment of silence kind of thing. It says, "We would like to say thank you to those men and women who paid the ultimate price. We will always remember their sacrifice to our nation's heroes, of our nation's heroes. We are deeply grateful. In remembering the fallen, we honor their loved ones as well. Spouses, fathers, mothers, sons, daughters, sisters, brothers, friends. There really aren't proper words, but we do live in gratitude each and every day for the precious gift that they have given us." I thought it was pretty.
It's very, very beautiful.
These ribs are really soft. They're like melting like butter when you bite into them. So I didn't really know what to do for Memorial Day. I couldn't find a quiz or anything. I just found those 2 poems and like some facts about it. I can search for a quiz or something.
No, I think it's fine.
I mean, this was marked after, I mean, they mentioned World War I, but it was really marked after like the Civil War over here that we celebrated.
So I don't personally know anyone that has died in war or in service.
I know veterans. I've never really celebrated Memorial Day because I don't know anybody that has died in service. I've known veterans, my grandparents, my great-grandparents, my own parents, you know. So I've always celebrated Veterans Day.
But I forgot where I was going with that. Yeah, I don't know anyone personally that would be honored on Memorial Day. But I still think even if you don't know someone, it's a good idea to do it anyway.
Yeah. Just to pay respect.
Yeah.
I mean, they fought a war and they didn't know who you were or who you were going to be, so it's just respectful, you know. My ribs are hiding under my egg salad. Not getting away from me like that. I can look up though. Where is? So when you went into the Army, did you think that you would be shipped overseas or anything like that? Like before you found out your mom got really sick?
Yeah. Pretty much everyone for your first tour, it will be overseas. Very, very rarely do you get a stateside deployment your first tour. Stateside is for the people who have done a few tours and, you know, they're staying in but don't feel like being over there kind of thing. Anyone feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but it was pretty much an expectation that I was going to be going somewhere. And at the time, I would have been going to the northern side of South Korea because that's where everybody was getting sent.
At that time, yeah.
Yeah.
This is Memorial Day proclamation. They have a proclamation.
Ooh, cool.
I wonder if I could pull that up and read that. I can. Oh, that's New Mexico.
Oh.
Wait a minute, let me see if I can find. Is it only New Mexico?
Yeah. There you go. That's how you get grips. Just grab them.
This is 2019. Okay, interesting. Alright, well, I'm gonna read this because it's like the most up-to-date thing. Oh no, this is Proclamation of Prayer for Peace.
So I want to say, for pretty much our first time trying to cook on a charcoal grill,
I did good.
it's really fantastic.
It went faster than I was told it was gonna be.
And that could be, we could have had the coals too hot, too many coals, had the coals too high, too close to it. We really don't have anything on here to gauge heat with yet.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something we should probably look into. But even though it cooked them faster, I don't feel that it affected it at all. Like, it's still juicy. It's still good.
Okay, this is the real history of Memorial Day, and it's written by the airforcetimes.com/veteran/whatever. And it's written by Rebecca Miller. Yeah, May 27th, 2019, this article was written. And it's got a picture of, it looks like a horse-drawn hearse with a flag-covered casket. It says, Memorial Day falls on the last Monday of May. Americans all over the country honor fallen service members with parades, barbecues, and commemorative services. Though Memorial Day was made an official federal holiday in 1971, its roots trace all the way back to the Civil War, which I told you, when Northerners and Southerners alike were looking for a way to publicly mourn their fallen. Most observances were concentrated in the South, where the most Civil War graves were located. Over 25 cities claim to be the birthplace of the Memorial Day. For example, Macon, Georgia claims it began there in 1866, while Boalsburg, Pennsylvania claims it began there in 1864. One story maintains that in late April 1866, a group of Mississippi women went to decorate the graves of soldiers who had died in the Battle of Shiloh. When they arrived, they found the Confederate graves were well cared for, in stark contrast to the nearby graves of Union soldiers, which were bare and unkempt. Saddened, the women placed the flowers on the Union graves too. On May 5th, 1868, just 3 years after the Civil War, a group of Union veterans known as the Grand Army of the Republic declared May 30th to be the Decoration Day. Major General John A. Logan gave the order for his post to decorate graves with the choicest flowers of springtime, and let no neglect, no ravages of time testify to present or to the coming generations that we have forgotten as people the cost of free and undivided republic, he wrote. The major organized Decoration Day's observation occurred that year on May 30th at Arlington National Cemetery. Ulysses S. Grant presided over the ceremony. After the speeches, children from local orphanages walked through the cemetery with members of the Grand Army of the Republic, placing flowers on the graves of the Union and Confederate soldiers. Today, several states continue to observe Confederate Memorial Day, in which they honor only Southern soldiers who died during Civil War. These states are North Carolina, South Carolina, Texas, Alabama, Virginia, Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, and Georgia. Confederate Memorial Day is also known as Confederate Heroes Day in Texas and Confederation Decoration Day in Tennessee, and is celebrated in conjunction with the national holiday, Memorial Day. I don't think it's right to single out one side, though. I mean, I get it, they're Southern, and it's like the South, and that's their soldiers, so to speak, but I mean, it was a war for, like, the entire nation, basically, to figure its stuff out, and, I think everybody should be equally celebrated. Both sides. But that doesn't hold true to every war and stuff, though.
No, definitely not.
Which is a weird concept. I mean, I understand you see a dead soldier's grave and you don't see it decorated, and that's sad. Whether or not you know which side they fought for or whatever, I think that in general is the reason why I say both sides should be celebrated, even if it's like World War One, World War Two, or the French-British War that happened up north over New York area, where they're kind of coming down from Canada and the British were pushing back, kind of thing, trying to take over Canada area. Would you, if you were up north celebrating Memorial Day, I mean that was a war up north from us, would you celebrate both the French and the British side? Or me being French, would I just celebrate the French veterans? Or, I mean, honestly, I don't see, the war is past, so it's not like you're taking sides as to who should have won or who's better or whatever. It's people that made a sacrifice. I think both sides should be.
It's not taking sides. It is men and women who took up arms for their country, and a lot of people want to rip one side or the other, like, oh well, I'm not, they were soldiers of this side, I don't care about them. They were just following what they were told, and a lot of times, there's the bigger grand scheme of what's actually going on. They don't know that. They're just told, go here, hold this.
Well, kind of like North Korea and their perception of Americans. They have no clue the true history of America and North Korea.
And a lot of times it's skewed by one side or the other. But as far as like the troops go, they're just doing what any troop from any country would do. They're told, go here, do this.
That makes you think, yes, a dictator themselves, that's up to you if you want to mourn a dictator. They weren't actually,
Yeah, once you get so far up the chain, though, that's where I'd say, okay, now you can say let's not or let's. But when you're just talking about soldiers, they're just soldiers.
They're not Nazis, or they're not northern or southern.
Even the German soldiers, I mean, the ones that weren't in the camps.
I feel bad for half of them. Most of them were in fear of their lives and their families' lives. And, I mean, the decisions they made weren't right. But I understand why they made those decisions. They were terrified. Let me see if they have any, because all of these are just fact pages. How about, do they have quotes for mom? Test your skills. How much do you know about Memorial Day? Nothing.
Before today, really not much.
It's by AARP.
And that's kind of sad because, like you said, I should have known that. And I'm sure at one point I did know that. I just forgot.
They didn't teach us that in school. Either that or I slept for it in history class like usual. I failed history twice.
So it's...
I hate history. So, first question. There's 9 of them on this quiz. Decoration Day, the commemorative holiday that eventually was renamed Memorial Day, was officially established in what year? 1868, 1887, 1902, 1917.
I don't do numbers. You just said the year earlier. I
said it like 3 times.
I do not do numbers at all. My number memory does not exist.
Take a guess.
What were they again?
1868, 1887, 1902, 1917. Y'all remember?
The second one? 1860 something? I don't know. Me and numbers don't get along.
You said 1887.
Oh.
1868, Decoration Day was named for the practice of decorating the graves of the war of dead with flowers on that day. When was Memorial Day moved from May 30th to the last Monday in May. 1925, 1946, 1971, 1980.
46?
46?
Yeah.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Would you like to phone a friend? Yes.
I can't.
Incorrect. 1971.
Ah.
In 1968, Congress passed the Uniform Monday Holiday Act, which moved several traditional holidays, including Memorial Day, from a fixed date on the calendar to a designated Monday. The bill went into effect 3 years later, making it a national holiday.
This is why I failed history. Because I can't remember the dates of things at all. They'll be like, when was the Civil War? I don't know. I don't know that year.
I literally slept through history. It was my last class of the day.
But because of that, as an adult, I am now learning very interesting things. Because I could never remember what years things happened. But like as I'm reading up on more stuff, I find that a lot of things that I thought were separated a lot in history, like happened at like the same time. And that kind of blew my mind a little bit.
I got my tea. All right.
I got my root beer since I can't have regular beer.
Your hands are covered. Which of the
Oh, it's glorious.
yeah. Which of these memorials to the fallen was the first to be established on Washington's National Mall? A. National World War II Memorial. B. Vietnam Veterans Memorial. C. Korean War Veterans Memorial. D. Vietnam Women's Memorial.
It's either World War II or Vietnam, but I don't know.
Flip a coin.
We're gonna go Vietnam.
Vietnam. Veterans or women's?
Better.
Correct. The memorial was dedication November 13, 1982, and attracts more than 5.6 million visitors each year, according to the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund. I don't think I've ever been there.
So I learned something very interesting about Vietnam, or the troops, really, not necessarily the place. Apparently, when the troops came home, at the time they were not welcome.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. They were spat on and disgraced, and it wasn't until very recently that any of them ever heard, a thank you for your service or anything before they could even be proud that they served their country.
Because it was so controversial, the war.
Yeah.
We didn't want to fight it.
But I mean, again, that goes back to they're doing what they have to.
No. I mean,
don't hate them. Hate the
player. Don't hate the player at the game.
Yeah, hate the people telling them to do stuff. Don't hate your veterans.
So question 4. Which of these major sporting events takes place every Memorial weekend? Unfortunately not football. Indianapolis 500, Belmont Stakes, U.S. Open Tennis Championships, or the NBA Finals?
I don't watch sports, but car race sounds the most American, so let's go with car racing. Oh, I was right.
The Indianapolis 500. The first race took place on Memorial Day in 1911, and the race was considered with the holiday every weekend ever since, except for breaks during World War I and World War II. Okay, you should know this one. Every year since the early 1920s, paper versions of these flowers are widely distributed by veterans groups in the U.S. shortly before Memorial Day. Lily, rose, carnation, poppy.
Bro, just kidding. Poppies.
Correct. The use of poppies is a symbol that can be traced back to the poem In Flanders Fields by John McCrae, who wrote about the poppies growing between the rows of graves of soldiers who died during combat in Flanders, and area of northern France and western Belgium. Ooh, I'm become. The cheese has hardened on the top a little bit there. Come on, stop knocking off my fork. Loaded mashed potato. The healthier version. This military memorial, just outside of Washington, often referred to as Iwo Jima Memorial, because of its features. Because it features a sculpture of a scene from a famous World War II battle, salutes this branch of military service. Air Force, Army, Marines, Navy.
Oh, I can't remember if that was Army or Marine.
Iwo Jima Memorial.
I think that one was Army. Ah.
Marines. Michael.
I'm biased.
The official name of it is the U.S. Marine Corps War Memorial.
Look up a picture of it.
When I'm done, I'm on question 7. And by then I'll forget. This woman served as a battlefield nurse during Civil War, earning the nickname Angel of the Battlefield, and founded the American Red Cross in 1881. Dorothea Dix, Clara Barton, Cornelia Hancock, Louisa May Alcott.
I should know the answer to that, but I don't.
It's okay, you've got 3 right and 3 wrong. You're at a 50 right now.
Let's go with Louisa.
Louisa May Alcott. Check answer. That's flying awfully low. I can see every detail of the plane. Clara Barton headed the American Red Cross for the first 23 years of its existence. Alright. On Memorial Day, U.S. flags are to be flown half-staff until what time? 10 a.m., noon, 4 p.m., sunset.
I thought you said 3 earlier.
That's when it's celebrated on the moment of peace or whatever it's called. What you call it?
4? Then, I guess.
You're gonna put 4?
It's either 4 or sunset.
Noon.
Noon?
Remember? I said they
no.
fly the flags until noon, and then they have the celebration like the cookouts and the moment of peace at 3 o'clock usually.
Number memory sucks.
The Department of Veteran Affairs says the flag should be flown at the traditional half-staff memorial position until noon, then raised to the top of the staff until sunset in honor of the national's heroes. Oh no. No, I don't want to join the AARP. Just give me the last question. No, it put me at 9. What happened? Oh my god, I hate you so much.
Was question 9, do you want to join AARP?
Probably. And then did it give me a no option? It just flipped me back to the beginning of the question. Oh, let me answer these questions. I'm getting them all right.
Well, no one ever accused me of being the smart one here.
No. Next question.
Sunset.
Gave it to me this time. It's a quote. I hate war as only a soldier who has lived it can. only as one who has seen its brutality, its futility, its stupidity, said the former U.S. soldier who became a U.S. president. That was Ulysses S. Grant, Theodore Roosevelt, Dwight D. Eisenhower, George H.W. Bush.
Sounds like a Teddy thing.
You think it's Teddy? Eisenhower. Eisenhower made the remarks in a speech in Ottawa, Canada in 1946. Cool, that was the only quiz I found so far. I'm learning a lot. Okay, what was I supposed to look up? Marine.
The Iwo Jima statue.
Iwo.
IWOJIM something. Iwo Jima.
It spelled it for me. Oh, I've seen pictures of it.
Sorry. I knew that.
I've seen pictures of it. I just don't know where it is, and I've never been. I know it's in Virginia. Arlington. Yeah, I've never been to Arlington.
If Ryan watches this video, he's going to be so disappointed in me.
I'm going to send this video to Ryan so that he can be disappointed in Michael. Because I'm such a nice person. This cauliflower is like, seriously? Woo.
So good.
Get on my fork. Alright. This one's by the Denver Post. Probably the same questions. This quiz is for kids.
I'll still fail.
It's by imom.com. Memorial Day quiz for family games. What should your children know about Memorial Day? Okay. So 1, what day of the week is Memorial Day celebrated? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday.
I mean, Monday?
It's on a Monday.
Oh, yeah, Monday.
Who do we honor on Memorial Day? Presidents, bosses, fallen soldiers, the Easter Bunny.
Fallen soldiers.
Stop with the pop-ups. Waterloo, New York, has been named the birthplace of Memorial Day by which president? President Abraham Lincoln, President Lyndon Johnson, President Bill Clinton, President Teddy Roosevelt. What are the answers?
Oh. I have no clue.
President Lyndon Johnson. You have to scroll all the way down for the answers. What is the largest national cemetery named? Waterloo National, George Washington National, Calverton National, World War II National.
Isn't it Calverton?
We're gonna find out. Yes. Calverton.
I got
National.
one.
I don't know. I was rooting for you for the Easter Bunny one. Where?
Paper towel.
Where is Calverton National Cemetery located? In Calverton, New York, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Tampa, Florida, Arlington, Virginia.
I mean, sure. Why not? Why not Calverton? I don't even know if that's a real city.
Correct. Calverton, New York.
Okay. Also, didn't pass geography.
I got a C.
I don't know where stuff is.
It was other countries. I couldn't remember where stuff was. Our country, I'm really good at. You could hand me a map of the United States. I could tell you where everything goes.
I know where Texas is.
Number 6. There is something unique at the Arlington National Cemetery. What is it? A, the tomb of the unknown soldier. B, the rarest flower in the world.
I'm going with that one.
C, grave sites. A or D, a play yard.
I think that's where unknown soldier is.
You're going with A. Correct. Why did that take me so long? Shut up! Hey, that worked this time. Aw. The guy across the street has 2 boxers. One of them barks at everything. A leaf could fall from the tree and he would bark at it. Number 7. How many soldiers were originally buried at the tomb of the unknown soldier? 4, 3, 2, 1. It literally is in that order.
I thought it was just one. Oh.
4 of them.
Okay. Learn something new every day.
Number 8. As of 1998, how many soldiers are currently buried at the tomb of the unknown soldier? 3, 2, 1, 0.
Wait, did they lose one? I'm just go ahead and ask how many.
3.
Okay. So they lost one.
Number 9. Who has been credited as being the first to declare that shops are closed for one day to honor the soldiers coming back from the Civil War? President Abraham Lincoln, Henry Wells, General Robert E. Lee, or J.E.B. Stuart?
Abe, I guess? I do not know.
Henry Wells.
Oh, okay.
Number 10, and last question. In 1866, townspeople and live soldiers placed flowers on graves of fallen soldiers before it was Memorial Day. On this day, it was called Peace Day, Remembrance Day, Recollection Day, Decoration Day.
Decoration Day.
Yeah, Decoration Day, because Remembrance Day is in November for veterans. Are you full? Because you still have cake. Well, I don't know if it's a cake or if it's a pie, because it's got a crust at the bottom. It's got whipped cheesecake, it's got pudding, and then it's got, like, fluff at the top.
It's the pie.
It's cake.
The pie.
Ribs. Like, this is
cake.
it's so filling. I love carb load day. I can eat, like, whatever I want. As long as I don't go over, like, 100 carbs, I'm good.
I demolished those ribs.
I try to stick with, like, I mean, right now I'm at, like, 33 net carbs for the day with all of this. I didn't even mark that yet, and that's only got 5. But, yeah, it's amazing. But with carb load days, I try to stick around, like, the 50 mark. And that to me is a carb load, because on average, like, literally I get like 10 grams of carbs a day. I mean, you could flip through my carb manager and prove that. I don't even hit my 17 limit. So 50 is a lot for me. And sometimes, like, I feel really sluggish afterwards. But, like, then a day later, I'll maybe up like half a pound to a pound, because it's still processing in my body and everything, because those are the slower carbs. I usually pick, I think the only slow carb I picked was the brown sugar. So it might not really affect my weight all that much at all, really. Everything else is probably easily processed.
This tastes better than it did when we first tried it.
What?
This cake. Or cake. Whatever we want to call it. It tastes better now to
It's
me.
a cake.
I think sitting in the fridge longer.
I like formed it all together. It's like one piece now. Instead of mush.
Yeah, y'all got to try that recipe too. Just go ahead and try everything on this table.
Except for the dry rub.
Yeah, except the dry rub. We have another video on keto seasoning ribs.
Yeah, I have another video on rib that posted long before this. You can do that, or just do your, honestly, it's paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, which those have carbs, the garlic powder does, which is like 1 carb per like quarter of a teaspoon or something like that, I don't know. And it's got ground cinnamon, did I say paprika? Cayenne pepper, very little cayenne pepper, like 1/4 of a teaspoon, just for that little kick to it. You can put like chili powder in it. I mean, ribs rub is just, it's ribs rubs. You're gonna take a lot of flavors and basically make it your own. Just play around with it and make whatever combinations you can. Got ads or anything on here? I'm not really seeing anything else. Memorial Day movies. I didn't know we had those. Hold on. Memorial Day. Flags of Our Fathers. The Messenger. The Big Red One. The Dirty Dozen. Glory. They Were Expendable. Oh my god, there's a lot. Stripes. MASH. Where Eagles Dare. The Longest Day. Sergeant York. The Steel Helmet. And Patton. The only one I've ever heard of is Stripes, MASH, The Dirty Dozen. I haven't heard of the others.
I feel like those are probably movies to watch on Memorial Day, not necessarily movies about Memorial Day.
They're all war movies. Well, I mean, I think Stripes is more of a comedy. I'm pretty sure Stripes was a comedy.
Kind of like, you watch Jason Statham on Christmas. You watch those on Memorial Day.
It's a Christmas movie, y'all.
It is.
You'll know.
It really is.
Good Housekeeping says 19 Memorial Day movies on Netflix. Oh, and Amazon. Let's slip that in under the little small print there. Alright, let's see. Warning, many of these films feature violent scenes that may be difficult to watch. The pics are not listed for children under 18. Okay. Number 1. Oh, it's 19 of them. Okay, number 1, Apocalypse Now, which was made in 1979. That sounds cool. I've got like the tougher meats. It's a little bit harder for me to cut with a fork. It's got Martin Sheen in it, who's an army captain. Top Gun. That's a good one. It's about Tom Cruise. He plays a pilot. There's Black Hawk Down. I like that one.
It's a good movie.
Black Hawk Down is good. Born on the 4th of July, a 1989 movie. It's got Ron Kovic in it. It's about the Vietnam War. The Best Years of Our Lives, 1946. It's a World War II movie. And it's basically 3 people trying to adjust to civilian life. 7 Oscars, including Best Picture. Wow. The Hurt Locker, 2008.
I heard it was good, but haven't seen it.
Jeremy Renner. Professional Bomb Diffuser. That's what Gavin wanted to do, actually. He wanted to look into bomb diffusing before he decided to try out welding.
EOD is, they have a lot of fun.
That's a crazy job. Well, you're going to have to, because if you take life seriously and you're diffusing a bomb...
Yeah. They, They're a cool group of guys.
They pretty much, they don't hold grudges. They just... whatever. They're getting paid
and
to put their life on the line.
Nobody really messes with them because you don't want to anger the guy who has to put the pin back in your grenade.
Yeah. What else? Number 17, American Sniper, 2014. I haven't seen that one. Directed by Clint Eastwood. The Longest Day, 1962. This one is about the beaches of Normandy, D-Day, 1944. Then there's D-Day, 2004. Which is about Germany. No, I'm just kidding. This one's titled Mine, 2016. I've never heard of this one. Army Hammer stars in a suspenseful drama about a Marine stuck behind enemy lines with a foot on a landmine and no one to come to his rescue. That is like crazy. Could you imagine? Platoon, 1986. William Defoe and Charlie Sheen. Glory, 1989. It has a price down there where you could like directly stream it for $10. Matthew Broderick, Denzel Washington, and Morgan Freeman are in this movie, and it's about the Civil War.
Ooh, Morgan Freeman. Great actor.
Amazing. They Were Expendable is a 1945 film with John Wayne. He stars as Lieutenant Rusty Ryan, a Navy commander in World War II. 13 Hours, The Secret Soldier of Benghazi. Benghazi. I don't even know where that is. My apologies for everybody that lives in Benghazi, if it's still there.
When was this made? 2016?
Yeah, 2016.
Benghazi is what I believe Hillary Clinton everybody was fussing at her about for sending people there, or covering up something that happened. I don't remember. So that's probably a movie about that.
U.S. Ambassador.
Oh, that's great.
Okay.
They watched our lives.
Meeting. So, Sandcastle, 2017. I don't know who Nicholas Hoult is. But it's stationed in Iraq. Dangerous mission. That's Lincoln right there. It doesn't have a title. There's no title on number 16. I'm guessing it's just Memorial Day. Memorial Day was initially commemorated because of the Civil War, which took place during Abraham Lincoln's presidency. The film captures Daniel Day-Lewis portraying one of the most well-known U.S. presidents in history. That's it. It doesn't have a name on the movie. No, I don't want to go to Netflix right now.
I just want to see nothing.
It has to be Lost His Way. Sorry, we can't find that page.
Yes.
Maybe the movie no longer exists. I don't know. Alright. Flags of Our Fathers, 2006. It says we've all seen the iconic photo of the 6 men who raised the flag at the Battle of Iwo Jima. But now we can see the story come to life on screen. It's written by Clint Eastwood and Steven Spielberg.
Oh, wow.
It's about World War II. Number 18, The War, 2007. This is about World War II. We the Marines, 2017.
37-minute film about joining the U.S. Marine Corps.
It's more like a documentary, probably. It's just a short clip about the U.S. Marine Corps, and that's it. Those are good ideas. That one's 24 military movies, but what's up?
I'm full. That was a lot. It was like a lot. It was really good. All of it was very delicious. Super happy.
I'm still eating. I'll probably have to just like take it in the room and finish it. I want some more cauliflower though. This is gonna be my only meal of the day.
Yeah, I don't think I'm even gonna have dinner or be hungry by dinner.
I'm adding it today.
Alright.
One meal a day.
I need to get up.
Alright, well, thank you for joining us for our Memorial Day cookout. We really appreciate it. I hope you get a chance to check out the recipe for the loaded cauliflower, the cauliflower mac, the dessert section of Pam, and I hope you guys have an awesome Memorial Day, and we want to thank all those that have died in service, and and that will die in service. So I'm going to go ahead and thank them because they are putting their life on the line every day. So we will catch you guys in another video at another time, and do not forget to check out below in the description the links to all the other collaborators. Please go to their page, watch their videos, leave a meaningful comment, subscribe, like, share it out. Bye guys.
Bye.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me,